I'm being forcibly removed from the building again of a public lobby, so.
So if you want to take out that gun and badge, I'm happy to scrap with you one day. You want to do it, let's do it. Let me know, buddy.
That is not a crime, and you're telling me to get out of my vehicle.
Do you know where Lieutenant Mingus is right now? So no, he's not in the building?
I don't know. I'm not.
What do you know? I'm not telling you nothing else until I find out who's driving that vehicle. You not a supervisor, bro. I need somebody higher than you right now.
I didn't break the law. I'm not going to be found guilty of anything. This is a waste of time. If you guys want to know who I am, I'll tell you who I am. Okay. You want to know what I'm doing here? I'll tell you what I'm doing here.
If you didn't know, I went to the police academy and they kicked me out.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
Spit me in my face right now! She spit in my face!
Today's video takes us to the great state of Georgia. Matter of fact, we're going to make a stop at a correctional facility where we find a frauditor trying to get in. Most people are trying to get out. Well, that shows you how smart frauditors are. But the frauditor refuses to back down and, oh dearie me, winds up going to the pokey. Well, be that as it may. Sit back, watch, and enjoy!
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Rogue Nation here with you. We're at the Paulding RSAT Center, which on the map says it's a probation detention. It is raining. It's December 4th. So again, not sure what kind of detention center this is. Maybe a work release type deal. I'm not sure.
Well, now I tell you something, frauditor. Anytime you see razor wire around the top of a fence, you can bet they're trying to keep people in there. And it's not for people to try to get into. But frauditor, I know that's a waste of time telling you that. You carry on, sweetheart.
It's kind of cold right now. I'd say the temperature's in the low 40s, upper 30s. No, I cannot take tobacco products on the property, so go come in here and get a shot of the sign.
I know that's difficult to read. The frauditor didn't zoom in on it for us, but it basically says no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no tobacco, things of that nature. And then it goes on to tell you what kind of penalties you're going to get if you do those things, and you're subject to search, even by a drug dog. Oh, dearie me, this is not the place you want to be, frauditor. But frauditors never pay attention to signs because they don't trump the First Amendment. Don't forget that.
A few moments later.
Everyone is subject to a search of their person and property at any time. That's when you go inside the gates. Anyone attempting to bring contraband into the facility will be arrested and prosecuted.
Alrighty then, it appears that this frauditor could be a bit more educated than most. At least he can read. Can he comprehend though? This is the problem. Now we're going to have to skip ahead a bit because this video is 35 minutes. We're not going to sit here and watch that bloody much. Yeah, let's get to the part where the confrontation begins, shall we?
Excuse me?
Can I help you, sir?
No, I already told the young man I don't need help.
Well, you got to exit property. You cannot record on state property without permission from the commissioned officer. This time I got to ask you to leave, sir.
I record on state property all the time.
Sir, you're not recording on this property and you can't. So this time we're asking you to leave.
Is there a law?
Yes, sir. State property, you must leave.
What's the law?
Call the County Sheriff's Department. You pass the guard line, sir. Do you know what a guard line is?
Yeah, I pass them all the time.
You cannot be here. Please exit.
Does the guard line say that you can't come on the property? No, it doesn't.
We're instructing you to leave.
But you don't have that power. I'm a journalist. I'm allowed to be.
Sir, no, you're not. Not with our permission. And you don't have our permission to be on this state property.
Okay.
$95F to L1A.
Imagine that. Rogue Nation fancies himself a journalist. I bet his mama's so proud of him. Her bouncing baby Roy grew up to be a YouTube journalist. How lovely. Go ahead.
Notify Mr. Hitchcock. We have a suspicious person on state property refusing to leave. Notify him, Paulding County.
Suspicious person, you did remember me telling you I was a journalist, right?
Sir, you're not complying with our instructions. We ask you to leave our property.
It doesn't matter. Your instructions mean absolutely nothing. You know what the Constitution is?
To the L1A.
The First Amendment.
Moments later.
Yeah, being that this has visitor parking and you have signs for visitation, that means the public's allowed in the parking lot. So, under those auspices, it's a public area.
Mm-hmm.
You know something? In the mind of a frauditor, that makes perfect sense. But did I mention that a frauditor has a brain the size of a pea? That's why they call it a pea brain. No doubt about it.
What is this place, by the way, RSAT? Is that probation detention it says on the Google map? Is it county? It's not county jail. Don't answer.
Sir, only question I have for you now, you got to exit state property. If you would like to make an appointment to speak with a warden, you feel free to call. But at this time, you are not allowed to be here and you're being asked to leave.
Okay.
More moments later.
What's going on, man?
I'm a journalist just in the area, so I know my rights. I know the guard line. I do this all over the state of Georgia. I know this is a public lobby here, a public parking lot. They have a visitation sign right there for people to pull in and come in to visit the inmates, so I'm well within my rights. Thank you. State property is public property.
Sir, we have no visitors unless they're allowed through. No visitors coming here unless they're allowed.
I'm not trying to come in.
Or his or her designee, or even being on this property.
That's not law.
He is not signed, approved, or anything else to be on this property. He must exit this property.
I'm not sure if these morons just don't understand, just don't care, or it's because they want the clicks and views. Probably the latter. Yeah, because when you're asked to leave someplace, you have to leave. If you don't leave, you'll be trespassed. And that's what's about to happen here. This guy's an idiot. I've never done a video on Rogue Nation before. I chatted with him a couple times on live streams. But man, this is really beyond belief that he would do something this stupid.
First Amendment allows it. There's no restricted access. There's no trespassing signs. There's no due process for anybody walking onto this property that they're not allowed to be here.
So what's the purpose of this today?
I'm a journalist. Like I said, it's totally within my First Amendment rights to come in on publicly accessible property and videotape whatever I get to see. I do this all over the country, not just Georgia. I'm originally from Florida. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Indiana, Ohio. I was out in Arizona 2 weeks ago. Oklahoma City 3 weeks ago. I do this all over the country. I'm well within my rights.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but what is the actual purpose of coming here?
Well,
Like,
the First Amendment, the constitutional essence of the right to free press is the right to watch over our public officials and bring their actions to the attention of the citizenry so they can make informed decisions about who's running their county, who's running their state, who's running their city. So again, as they don't have any restricted access signs, no trespassing signs out here, there's no way they can restrict access.
Look, Frauditor, why don't you just tell the sheriff what you're really doing? You're gathering content for your lame YouTube channel. Yeah, because that's apparently the only way you can make a living these days, huh? Well, it's all about the clicks and views, man, because I'm telling you one thing. If your channel went dark for some reason, you would not continue to do this nonsense. You just wouldn't. Be honest. Tell people the truth, man. Tell your subscribers the truth. Man up.
And again, visitation sign right there tells us that the public's allowed to pull into this parking lot and come in and visit citizens. Now, they'd have to...
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no.
Okay.
It's a state facility.
Of course it is.
So when they have visitation and visitation is allowed, then visitors can come at that time.
Right. Right. They can come into the facility at that time. There's no sign out here saying visitation only, Sunday 2 to 3 p.m., nobody else allowed in during those times.
They don't have to have a sign displaying when visitation is.
Well, it's called due notice, and in law, you have to give that to citizens before you're allowed to tell them they're not supposed to be there.
Visit somebody?
No, absolutely
no, so you're
not.
just out here filming nothing.
Filming my public facility, my public employees, which is the essence of the right to free press.
Okay. So have you got what you needed to film?
No, not yet. I just shown up and they started freaking out. I didn't try to go into any restricted areas. I took some videos of the signs, and that's about as far as I made it.
Frauditor, I have to ask you one thing. It's on my mind, and all my subscribers want to know as well. Is this all really worth it? Going to jail. You're not a freedom fighter. We already have freedom to do things in this country. It's not like you're a civil rights fighter back in the 1960s. Those were the real freedom fighters. What are you? You're just a jackwagon.
Well, they're not going to allow you to go in the facility.
I never asked to, and I don't want to. I want to stay where the public's generally allowed to be. Again,
Which is not on the property.
I'm sure if you talk to your legal department, you'll find that this is perfectly legal for citizens to walk through. Again, any parking lot that's open that has no restricted access signs, you can walk through it. I'm sure you guys know this.
So, either way, you have ID on you?
No.
You don't have a driver's license?
I don't carry ID unless I'm breaking the law. It's not required in any of the 50 states.
It is required.
To carry ID if you're not breaking the law?
It's the law to carry an ID.
If you're driving a motor vehicle.
An ID when asked for.
No, it's not.
Okay.
And in Georgia, the statute is
so
if you're suspected of committing, have committed, or about to commit a crime. No. For what? What crime do you suspect me of?
Because we are out here we've been called out here.
That doesn't matter.
So you've been out here. So we, as our policy, have to write a report, okay? We encountered you, so we need your information so we can write this report.
Well, now, I haven't watched this entire video, but I imagine that Sonny Boy will claim that's a violation of his Fourth Amendment rights to be secure in his person. Yeah, that the whole Fourth Amendment right, it just doesn't bear fruit because nobody is searching you and nobody is going to seize anything.
Am I being detained?
No, you're not being detained.
Okay, so it's consensual, so I don't have to give any information.
Okay, then you can leave.
If I'm free to leave, I'm free to stay. That's the law.
Difficult is what it is.
There's
just out here trying to cause problems is what you're trying to do, right?
No, I'm trying to exercise my rights and have them respected.
You
making
Okay.
people uncomfortable that work here, sir.
Listen, people with mustaches make me uncomfortable. I don't call the police, okay? 9 out of 10
Sir, what's
pedophiles,
your first last name?
I'm not giving any information unless I'm legally obligated to. And to legally obligate me, you have to quote me the state statute, and I'll look at it and see if I'm obligated under that state statute. Okay, because I know you guys' state statute. I'm not obligated. Unless you can say a crime that you suspect me of.
22.
You have your information.
I do have my
We're
information.
gonna continue to go around and around, right?
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is
It's a
tell
state
them.
facility that you've been asked to leave.
I
And
understand
they can
that.
refuse to give service to anyone.
I'm not asking for service.
Okay, you're on their property. They've asked you to leave their property. So now that is criminal trespass.
That's what I've said all along, but a lot of officers don't follow up on that. Once you're asked to leave and you don't leave, that could be considered criminal trespassing. Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, Frauditor, you're going to file a lot of complaints and frivolous lawsuits over this, aren't you?
Absolutely.
It's their property?
It is the state's property, correct.
Is that public property or
It is
private property?
State property.
Is it public or private?
It is public to the state, but you have been asked to leave. Whether it's public or private, it does not matter.
Okay.
You have been asked to leave by an employee who works here.
Right. Do you guys have a supervisor?
I do have a supervisor.
Let me speak to him.
You'd like to talk to him?
Yeah, absolutely.
No problem.
Somebody more versed in the law would be good.
Because I don't know the law, right?
I'm obviously not. I mean, do you think you can roll up to a city park and just start trespassing people because you're an employee of the
We got
city?
a call because you're out here, sir.
If a city employee asks you to leave and you don't leave, then yes, I can tell you to leave the property.
For no crime being committed.
884 Paul. You start 457 or 233, please.
Oh, yes, indeed. As for the supervisor, hey, have you ever wondered what would happen if a Karen and a Darren got married and had kids? Oh, my gosh. That poor kid growing up. He'd probably be dumb as a bag of rocks, too, though, right? The fruit never falls far from the tree. Ah, here's what we all came in here for. Stay tuned.
But he says this is public property. He doesn't have to leave. So
This is a correctional facility.
that's correct.
Okay, do you want to leave?
What do you mean a correctional facility?
This is a correctional facility. So at this time, you now are under arrest. Do not leave your home.
Isn't that a lovely sound when the handcuffs ratchet and lock in place? Oh, that is quite lovely indeed. Oh, I love to hear that sound.
And film.
Well, there you have it, folks. Stupid is as stupid does. Now, is it worth all that, really? You're a freedom fighter. You're a journalist. What are you? You're a yahoo. You're a jackwagon. You make no sense at all. But be that as it may, it gives us all something to laugh at. And we need somebody to laugh at. Why not you? At any rate, if you enjoy watching idiots, imbeciles, and morons on my channel, please subscribe. As always, thanks so much for stopping by. Cheers to that.